Good evening. My name is Troy LaRaviere, President of the Chicago Principals and Administrators Association.
And I am Chief of Staff and Lead Contract Negotiator, Kia Banks.
On January 30th, you received an email from Audit Services asking you to complete a survey covering everything from communications to safety, with a due date of April 30th. Today at a meeting with CPS CEO Pedro Martinez, this audit questionnaire was addressed. This policy was adopted in July 2024, after we had begun bargaining with CPS, and it was adopted without negotiation. You should know CPS management is responsible for implementing this policy, but instead they're attempting to shift their burden to you. We immediately conferred with our legal counsel, who affirmed management's actions are a clear violation of fair labor practices. We strategized remedies and communicated to CPS that we intended to take immediate and decisive action.
Effective 3:29 p.m., our school leaders received an email dialing back this unreasonable request. This email referenced the Internal Audit and Advisory Services requirement to the annual internal control certification in accordance with board policy.
The tone of this email shifted and speaks to working collaboratively with partners like chiefs and other stakeholders. What this email fails to mention is that none of these stakeholders has the ability to ensure your feedback and protections are included in a final agreement at the bargaining table. What they fail to mention is that CPAA, your union, is the only legal voice for principals and assistant principals, and therefore the only elected body with the ability to ensure your feedback becomes part of district policy and practice. We are in active bargaining, and this is an attempt to weaken your voice and your union's bargaining power to get the contract we deserve.
This ill-conceived, short-sighted initiative comes at the worst possible time for school leaders who are already overloaded with compliance tasks. Now management has asked you for your feedback. We fought for bargaining rights because district management has consistently told you they want your feedback and then ignored it. But it cannot be ignored when it comes through your union, and your union carries it to the bargaining table to include it in a binding legal contract. So if they ask you for your feedback, tell them, my feedback is, my union speaks for me.
That's right. Now, we've reviewed all of this with our legal counsel, and we are formally demanding that CPS not only fully rescind any duty to comply with the questionnaire, but to table this until it is bargained. We were clear that with the recent bipartisan passage of mandatory interest arbitration for principals and assistant principals in the Illinois General Assembly, CPS cannot force you to complete this questionnaire.
In plain words, this request is subject to bargaining. If CPS management refuses to pull it back, we will file an unfair labor practice complaint.
We will let you know when we receive CPS's response to our formal demand. In the meantime, do not submit the questionnaire. This is exactly why you have a union.
And this is why we are negotiating your contract, to put an end to this kind of overreach and practice that has become far too common.
So take your long weekend and enjoy it. Your union will continue this work to ensure your rights are protected and your time is valued. We will not let this type of action stand without challenge. CPAA, your voice, that's what we are, and we will not stop until we secure the contract that each of us will be proud to work on.
Thank you, and have a great evening.